Folks, we're here with Southwest Edgecombe head coach Shelton Langley. This is an all-new sports show, internet exclusive. Ed not here to make his little noise once again, but we're here with tonight's victorious coach. Coach, 8-7, extra inning win over your big rival. Let's just start off, give us a little quick recap of the ball game and what it means to get this win.
Quick recap was we kept trading the lead, tying up, trading the lead, and we have been in some weird games this year where we blew leads at the end. We've been in games where we got blown out, and very, very rarely, even though it's a young season, we haven't had a game where we kept losing the lead, taking it back, losing the lead, playing a complete game. We've been able to beat Tarver, but it was nothing like this in the first game. I thought it was huge that we took the lead, we lost it, we took it back, and then in extra innings we had a mistake in the outfield, and I brought this up in the huddle after the game. We had an outfielder just make a lazy type play to the side, and it turned a single into a triple. But had he quit going after the ball like a lot of baseball players do, they turn around and they mope, they complain, they cry, and he's real lazy. He sprinted with his D1 running back speed, and then he threw the ball, something like you hear in those myths. He threw the ball over 300 feet, kind of like Bo Jackson, and he surprised the whole stadium. Everybody expected him to score, and all of a sudden that ball just keeps going and going, and he holds that runner. And it's things like that, the hustle plays, even after you make a mistake that we've been preaching. You can't give up. And we did it throughout the course of the game. We did it in that inning. And I'm hoping that's something we can do the rest of the year because you're not always going to be way ahead. You're going to have to come back sooner or later if you're going to be a real baseball team.
I think he kind of is the Southwest Edgecombe Bo Jackson. We'll go with that. The Bo Jackson of Pine Tops. Coach, you talk about making a mistake and then being able to immediately atone for it. Jarrett Mobley, our player of the game, in the top of the eighth inning, he gets on as your leadoff runner. 3 straight times they throw over. He gets back on the 4th time. As he told us in his interview, they called him sleeping. But ball gets past the first baseman. He's able to get all the way around to third. Another bad throw brings him home. Just talk about your emotions going through that play.
Well, we were going to steal, and I think they knew that. They know Jarrett's aggressive. He's a really great base runner. We had 2 or 3 of our better hitters still up, so we were trying to get Jarrett in the scoring position. So they did the right thing. They kept picking, and, worst case, he gets tired. But we were still going to steal, and obviously Jarrett thought there's no way they'll pick a 4th time. So they caught him leaning towards second, and I'm not sure if they would have got him. But, picks, it's got to be a bang-bang play. But they had him leaning. But it got by him. I thought, well, good. Now we have him in second. Maybe, I don't know if we would bunt because we had Dylan Hodges up, who's a power hitter. Maybe let him swing, but you got to start thinking about it. But then it just, goes where it stays in right field a little bit longer, so we take him to third. Then they try to get him. And it's one of those things where, you don't throw behind runners because it might give another base. It went by third base, and I told Jarrett not to go because their outfielder actually backed up to play. But he got past the backup guy, and as I'm yelling, no, 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 Jarrett, because we always talk about, you got to be a smart base runner. You can't wait for the coach to say something. By the time I knew the outfielder had missed it, he was halfway home. And I think the fact that he is a basketball player paid off there. Because the fact that he could still sprint just a little bit to home, I think, other baseball players couldn't do that. So his basketball shape paid off. But he's a great player.
Coach, so 2 of your better athletes making really big plays for you tonight. Big win for you guys. Of course, it is the rivalry game. What does this do for some momentum? You've got 2 wins over Tarboro now. You dropped a couple other games. You guys, taking a look at your schedule, you scheduled very aggressively in the non-conference. So once you get into conference, you're going to be a little battle-hardened, playing the Rocky Mounts, the Fikes of the world, and some other Big East squads. Just talk about this going forward, what this could do for your team.
Well, last year was my first year, and I got handed the schedule that I got handed. I took over a couple of days before the season started. But we actually made the playoffs because we won our non-conference schedule. We won a few games in conference, but it came from, beating Tarboro. I believe we swept Kinston, so we had a bunch of non-conference wins. But when we got to the playoffs, we were just, we were out of our league. And I hate to say that, but we were, even though, we did play the number 1 seed in the East. But we want to be ready this time. So there's no need to schedule easy wins. But as long as they keep the playoffs set up like that with winning percentage getting you in, some people will go play an easy schedule. But we play in Rocky Mount twice, Southern Nash twice. Northern Nash is going to be in just one. We had one rained out. We're not going to make it up. We play in CBA Cock next Saturday at the Wilson Tobbs Invitational. That's a huge, huge game for us. You go up there and at least show up. That's going to take some momentum in. And I heard you ask one of my players about goals. he spoke very clearly about what our goal is. We are no longer satisfied with making the playoffs. We want to win a playoff game, and Jarrett's very serious about that. Before he graduates, he wants to be not just the crew that made it back to the playoffs after 10 years of being gone. He wants to win that playoff game. We were unsuccessful in basketball. He's on that team as well. So we like to win a playoff game. And then we have a mini goal. We wanted to go at least 500 in non-conference with our tough schedule. Right now we're 2-3, going into a 3-game week. And then we also are in an Easter tournament this year that we were not in last year. In any tournament you're in, you want to win it. Whether it's Easter tournament, whether it's some kind of weekend checkers tournament, you want to win any tournament you're in. So that'll get them used to playing in a tournament. It'll be 3 games in 3 days. The first week of the playoffs is a crazy week. You got to have a deep pitching staff. So we want to win that tournament. We'll be here in the same stadium. I love playing here. It's beautiful. But proud of the guys, and definitely this gets us a step closer to our goal of making it back to the playoffs. And yes, as far as just the rivalry, that makes us 4-0 the last 4 times we played Tarboro. And I knew there was a streak there, and I know this man would know it. We had gone years without sweeping them, and now we swept them back to back, and that's big for us. We take the rivalry very serious. I take it seriously. I'm a Southwest graduate. I actually live a mile, maybe a half a mile from this stadium, so I'm all about Edgecombe County. So I love things like this. I love seeing competitive Tarboro Southwest games, and I'm excited about bringing the Cougars back to the Tarboro East tournament.
Folks, head coach Shelton Langley, Southwest Edgecombe, they are 8-7 victors tonight in extra innings here at Tarboro Municipal Stadium. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time out with us. Folks, this has been this week's Coach's Interview. It's an all-new sports show, internet exclusive.